Hey, it's Hans. We're back again with another scope review, one of the most anticipated thermal scope reviews of the year. Since the announcement by N-Vision of the Halo X line of thermal scopes last year, there's been a lot of buzz about these scopes finally coming out. I know there's been a lot of anticipation, some delay, a lot of people waiting, a lot of people on lists waiting for these scopes. And really, the wait has definitely been worth it, but I know that the wait continues for a lot of you. So if you have ordered one of these thermal scopes and you're waiting, you're looking at this review, getting yourself pumped up, just know that everybody is doing everything they can to get these scopes out as fast as possible. I know N-Vision, the fine folks at N-Vision are doing the same thing. If you are a customer of Outdoor Legacy, or a repeat customer or somebody that's looking for a thermal optic, I invite you to go and check out our website, outdoorlegacygear.com. You can always call us at 877-350-1818. Again, it's outdoorlegacygear.com. We'd love to have your business. So we're getting right into the official review. So you get to see the first hunts with the optic. Now we're going to talk about the review. So we're going to go through the specs. Obviously, you're going to get to see the scope. You're going to see a lot of video. I took a lot of video for y'all. I want to have a lot of examples of hogs, coyotes, different ranges, anything I could think of while I was out there in the field hunting with this thing. I've hunted with it for several weeks now. I'd say at least a month, and that's every night, 6 nights a week for at least 2 or 3 hours a night out hunting in the pastures right here in East Texas. So specs, walk around, likes and dislikes, ID ranges, and I'm going to talk about the comparison, a little bit about the differences between the Halo X35, the X50, and the XRF, the 3 Halo X models. So, and then we're going to round it out with the likes and dislikes. So starting with the specs, going to roll video here at the same time. So this is a 640 by 480 thermal core resolution. It's a BAE core, the famous BAE core that everybody talks about as being the best in the business, the best, thermal picture image out there in the market. This is that core, the BAE core. That is synonymous with N-Vision. It's a 12 micron unit, 660 hertz refresh rate, a 50 millimeter objective lens. It starts out on 3.5 power and goes up to 28 power. So it is an 8 times digital zoom. One of the fantastic things, and we're going to talk about a little bit later, is the fact that the Halo X50 and all the Halo X's now run off of rechargeable 18650 batteries. So if you remember, like the Halo LR, the previous models before this, they all ran off of CR123 batteries, which were not rechargeable, or if you found them, they weren't very good. But these are, very good rechargeable batteries. 18650 runs on 2 of them. It does have another huge difference between this and the previous Halo model. It does have internal video and audio recording. Fantastic feature added in now. They say N-Vision says that the detection range is 2,020 yards. So detection range is just basically them saying that a human-sized target can be seen or detected by this thermal scope at a little over 2,000 yards. That's much different than the ID range, of course. They also say that the ID range is around 380 yards. We'll get into a little more of my thoughts on that. And when I first read that, I was like, wow, that seems a little low, because I know N-Vision, I've used their products before, and I know how fantastic they are. Weighs about 37 ounces. It has 8 different reticle choices. A lot of people want to know what those reticle choices are. So there's 8 of them. And it has what they call 4 operating modes. So, it's not a color palette, but operating mode, meaning it does have black hot, white hot. It has a white edge detect and a black edge detect. You're going to get to see that in the video, so you know exactly what that means. The price on it, $8,495. So that rounds out the specs right at $8,500. So what does $8,500 get you? First of all, let's talk about the differences between the Halo X models. You got the Halo X35, which is a 35 millimeter objective lens. It does have the 640 resolution core in it, 12 micron. Pretty much everything else is similar. Internal video recording, rechargeable batteries. It's got the same color operating modes, the 4 operating modes, the same reticles. It has all that. The only difference is it starts out on 2.5 power base magnification. So the difference between the X35 and the Halo X50, Halo X35 starts out on 2.5. The Halo X50 starts out on 3.5. So a little bit lower magnification, perfect for some of you people out there that are just southern hog hunters that all they're going to do is, sit there and pop hogs at, 50 to 100 yards. You can shoot even further than that, but most of the people that are going for higher magnification have multiple uses for a thermal scope. So objective lens size again on this Halo X50 obviously is 50 millimeter. On the Halo X35, it is 35 millimeters. So the price on that, a little bit lower, $7,495 for the Halo X35. Obviously, the Halo X50 is $8,495. So what $1,000 more gets you with the Halo X50? Larger objective lens, more base magnification. So going to be able to reach out there a little bit further with this, and perfect for, we'll talk about who this is perfect for, but there's a lot of different uses for it. So the difference between the Halo X50 and the Halo XRF, $1,000. The Halo XRF is right at $9,500. So it's going to be about $1,000 more than the Halo X50. So what's the difference? The difference between the Halo XRF and the Halo X50 is laser rangefinder. It's the only difference. 50 millimeter objective lens on both, 3.5 base magnification, rechargeable batteries, internal video recording. But the Halo XRF does have the laser rangefinder. And I've seen the videos of them. I know that, we'll be talking about it and testing it more here on this channel. I wanted to do the Halo X50 first because the video image that you see from this is going to be the exact same as what you see through a Halo XRF. The only difference, Halo XRF does have the laser rangefinder. I didn't really need it here where I hunt in East Texas, not much, but a lot of you people, it's been the most popular model. So keep it coming in, keep those questions coming in about both of them. But hopefully, I know there's a lot of numbers and letters being thrown in there. If you have any questions about the differences between the different Halo X models, just comment to this video. You can always call us. We'll walk you through the process. But there's 3 models. There is some differences, but not a huge span of differences. Not too much where it's not too difficult to figure out. So walk around the scope. That if you remember the Halo LR, which many of you do, it's a very similar design, not exactly the same, but similar design as the Halo LR in the form factor. The only difference is the buttons are now on top, which is a very big improvement. Before the buttons were on the side. So, you were dedicated to have to, maneuver through different functions with that scope with a set hand. And, depending on how you hold your rifle, if you're right-handed or left-handed, that could be cumbersome in some situations. But buttons on top now, that's perfect. Right hand, left hand, you can use it either way. Buttons layout is perfect, easy to find. There's 5 different buttons, a circle in the middle for their on, off, and menu, and you got your operating buttons around it. You've got this thing on the side, this big thing that looks like it just grew on the side of the scope. That's where your 18650 batteries go. So, there's 2 of them in there, as you both know. As you know, both of those batteries are not small. 18650 ARC batteries are not small, but the good thing is they run a very long time. So, and we'll get into that into one of the likes. Of course, you got your American Defense Manufacturing one-piece QD mount. It's our one throw lever QD mount. It's perfect. If you want to zero the scope, take it off, use it as a scanner, put it on another rifle, sight it in under a different profile, put it back on your other rifle. It'll hold 0. The American Defense, best in the business. Buy a nice scope, get a good mount. That's what I've always said on all my videos. If you're buying a good scope, get you something to hold it, of quality. Don't get you a cheap mount. But this comes with it, so you don't have to worry about it. The American Defense Manufacturer mount comes with the scope, and you'll be set and ready to go. So no worries there. That was a walk around in the scope. Again, 50 millimeter objective lens. It's, eyepiece diopter focus on the front. Pretty easy design and layout. Maneuvering these scopes and operating the scopes are very easy. But so ID range, they said 380 yards. They're very conservative. In good weather, 500 yards I think is absolutely doable. If you're an experienced hunter, you've hunted a lot at night with thermal, IDing further than that would probably be something you could do. Whether it be 600-700 yards, coyotes, if you know how a coyote moves or how a hog moves. I was out the other night and saw a hog that you couldn't hardly tell it was a hog because all you could see was its back in the high grass. But I would notice when that hog would get close to the cows, that the cows would try to run it off. So I immediately knew, well, that's probably not another cow or a calf or anything. It was a hog. So, if you know those kind of things, if you've been out hunting a lot at night and you know the mannerisms of different animals, you'll be able to ID much further, I think. I don't want to say much further, but you'll be able to ID further than 500 yards, and definitely much more than the 380 that N-Vision says that you can ID with. So getting to the likes, rounding out the review, you've got to see a lot of video. I've got several likes. I really only have one dislike. The likes. Batteries, rechargeable, 18650. You can buy them anywhere. I mean, they're cheap rechargeable batteries. You can buy them anywhere. You can load your pockets up with them, and you're going to get about 7 hours of runtime on two 18650 batteries. So that's a long time to run off of a $10 battery, and you load your pocket up with them. You'll never have a problem with, having to spend $200 on an extra battery or, not having enough batteries. I mean, that's perfect. What they did is exactly what we hoped that they would do, is, include rechargeable batteries and do so in a way that it wasn't a proprietary battery or very, very expensive battery. So great job, N-Vision. That was perfect. You did it, absolutely the best way possible. The other, like internal video recording, the video recording on these scopes looks fantastic. As you can see, I mean, crystal clear, easy to get the videos off of the scope onto the computer. It is Wi-Fi capable, so you can transfer them to your laptop or to your phone wirelessly. So, but easy to get them off the scope onto your computer. Being able to record your hunts with good quality video is important to a lot of folks, especially me, and them including that option and not having to use a separate, MDVR recorder that's attached by a cable. This was a big deal. Internal video recording is a huge deal. Picture image is always going to be a plus with N-Vision. They have the best optics as far as picture image in the business. If you call up to one of us and talk, at Outdoor Legacy and say, what scope has the best picture image? That's all I care about. Which one should I get? And all I care about is, the picture image and the quality of the picture image. N-Vision is going to be the answer every time. So you cannot go wrong if that is your only trigger for buying is picture, best picture image. N-Vision's always going to be the way to go. So picture image, rechargeable batteries, the mount, the American Defense Manufacturing mount, comes with a nice, very hard case to put your scope in while you're not using it. The attention to detail, the ease of use, the scope is easy to set up, easy to maneuver through, easy to sight in. They've included a easy to read instruction manual. And if I say easy one more time, you're going to be like, okay, we get the point. It's easy to use. But it is. There's nothing complicated about this. $8,500 scope, one of the easiest on the markets to use. You don't have to be a military member or somebody else to be able to operate this scope. So that rounds out the likes. I mean, there's a lot there, and I know I breezed through them really quickly, but there's a lot of meat to those likes and a lot of features that they've added in. Dislike only one, and it's always been our dislike, and it's not anything really that N-Vision can do. It's the BAE core, similar to Trijicon. You have to do the same function on Trijicon scopes, but it's the manual nuke or the manual recalibration. So on some scopes out there, they have automatic recalibration or what they call nuke, but automatic nuke, where it will refresh the image automatically when the sensor feels like the screen needs to be refreshed to get the most optimum, crispest picture that it could possibly get. It will automatically recalibrate. But for these scopes, to recalibrate the scope, to refresh the image, which you have to do every so often. When you first turn on the scope, you may have to refresh the screen, 2 or 3 times in the first couple minutes. After that, it's more acclimated to the conditions outside, the humidity, temperature, all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to nuke it or refresh it as much. But on the N-Vision scopes and on the anything that you've seen, Trijicon, like I said, the same thing. They only have one option. It's a manual nuke. The manual nuke is you got to close the lens cap and hold down the front button to refresh the image. So why is that a dislike? Well, if you have a coyote come in, like I've had in some of the videos you talked about, you got a coyote running in and you're on top of a hill, that coyote's running up that hill. So you can't see you can't see him yet. You know he's coming towards you. Last thing you want to do is shut that lens cap when that coyote's going to crest that hill 20 or 30 yards in front of you. So you don't want to take your eye off of where that coyote might pop its head up. So, sometimes you'll just have to leave that lens cap open when it needs to be refreshed. It's not a big deal. It's definitely not a reason not to purchase the scope. The manual nuke thing is just part of owning these scopes. It's not a huge deal. It's not, like I said, not worth not buying it. But the only dislike you can find out of a otherwise flawless scope optic. And the big thing is 5-year warranty. Very, very good customer service. So when you purchase this optic, you have peace of mind for 5 years knowing that anything happens to this, it will be taken care of. So 5-year warranty. I should have put that into the likes. I held it to the end because I always want you to know what you get when you buy. So like I said, if you're interested in purchasing the N-Vision Halo X50, the X35, the XRF, or any thermal or night vision optic, you can call us at 877-350-1818. You can find everything on the website, outdoorlegacygear.com. We'd love to have your business. We'd love to earn your business. So until next time, more scope reviews, more hunting right here on the HansETX YouTube channel. We'll see y'all next time. Stay safe in the fields. Keep making them bacon pancakes.